a playlist original.
Hey, what's up? It's your host, Torry, and who is ready to be petty? Welcome back to another episode of RTBP. I am so glad you're here. I'm so excited for this week's bonus episode about episodes 4 through 7 of And Just Like That Season 2. Today, I'm talking with Leeza of Leeza Rants in our 3-episode journey through this godforsaken season. It's truly the TV show we love to hate, but I'm hoping you will laugh along with us. If you are enjoying these bonus episodes of the podcast, leave me a little rating and review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the pod find new listeners and just gives me that little push to keep going. I feel like this is a long episode, so I think we should just dive right into it. Use the timestamps if you are watching along with us and enjoy. Without further ado, here's my conversation with Leeza. I'm back with a very special guest. Leeza is here. Leeza, how are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you so much for having me back. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my God, thank you. Also, I was recording with Nick, one of my collaborators, and I was like, I went to the Taylor Swift concert last weekend, and I was like, I went with this girl named Lisa, and he's like, Leeza of Leeza Rants? And I was like, no. Another girl. And then I was like, actually, I'm recording with Leeza this afternoon. And he's like, say hi to her for me. So hi from Nick.
No way. Hi, Nick. Oh my God. I love that. I'm so happy.
Oh my gosh. So tell the listeners, because you haven't been on the pod for quite a while. Tell the listeners what you have been up to lately.
I know. I miss you guys. I've just been a listener for a while, so I'm glad to be back. Yeah. So I host monthly Rant and Release Circles. So I'm based in Boston, Massachusetts, but so I do in-person circles and virtual circles if you don't live around me. But basically, yeah, once a month, I just host a women's circle where we can just get together and really discuss different topics. So I actually had like a body neutrality one last night. And yeah, we just get deep. It's kind of like a monthly group therapy session, honestly. So it's so much fun for me because I just love talking about all that stuff and just, networking, getting to know new people. So I love it.
And you just released a specific journal to match
your
circles. That's so fucking cool.
Yes, my first merch product. No, yeah. So I released a Rant and Release journal. It's available on Amazon. And I designed it and just published it because like I said, we have like really deep conversations, but I think sometimes it's really nice to kind of process your feelings on your own. So I just thought this was the perfect product to kind of go along with my monthly circles, and people can just journal and kind of write out their feelings and rant and do whatever they need to. So it's awesome. I love how it came out, and I'm just excited to like keep creating more because it's so fun.
I love that. Yeah, it truly is like the perfect item to just like, the brand synergy is there.
Thank you. Yes.
So when And Just Like That season 1 came out, you and I talked about the first 2 episodes.
Yep.
Which like were huge because it was, again, like spoilers ahead, obviously, where Big passed away. And I cannot believe we're at like midway, like at the latter end of season 2.
Yeah, it kind of felt like it flew by. Every episode, I'm like, wait, we're already on episode 5 and 6. And so, yeah, it's really weird.
I know. As a whole, how have you enjoyed this season? Loaded question.
I know, it's hard. So we've talked about this before. I'm a huge Sex and the City fan. I've seen every episode, every movie. So it's kind of like they really have me at this point. Like I'm not gonna not watch. Like I have to. I'm dedicated, I'm loyal, like we're in here, So I I enjoy it. I'm not like I'm not looking forward to it, I guess, every week, but there's just still, and we talked about it last time. It's just like there's just so many like just things that I'm like looking at the writers and I'm like, what? Like, why are we doing this? Or like, what's going on here? But I do think it's still like really enjoyable overall. So I'm not mad at it, but I just wish I could be in the writer's room sometimes,
Yeah. Yeah. It's very similar to how I feel about it because it's like I enjoy watching it.
Right.
It comes out on Thursdays like a few weeks ago. It was like literally Wednesday at midnight. I like couldn't sleep and I was like, "Oh, I'll watch the new."
Right.
And just like that episode, like I like it, but at the same time, it's the worst show I've ever watched. Like
Yes.
especially if you compare it to the like original series. It's just I don't know, it just has strayed so far from the main plot that it's really hard to watch.
Yeah, it is. And I just feel like the characters are just completely different people. I mean, we'll
Yeah.
get into it, but yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with you 100%. Like everything you just said is exactly how I feel about it.
Oh my God. Okay. So we're going to talk about episodes 4 to 7. I covered episodes 1 to 3 with Jenna. And so you can listen to that and come back.
It was really
Then
good. I enjoyed it.
oh, thank you. Thanks. I appreciate that. And then I'm going to be covering 8 to 11 with Maddie from Parked Car Combos. So let's get into it. So episode 4, this was kind of nice because we bumped into an old character, which was Carrie's Vogue editor, Enid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she runs a Goop-like newsletter, and it's called Vivant. And she wants Carrie, well, Carrie thinks she wants her to be a contributor. And Carrie has a hard time, like, reconciling with this because it's for women 75 plus.
Yes.
Like,
Oh my God.
and I don't know, like, would I be offended if I was in my mid 50s and this was offered to me? Like, probably. But it's like, she was really taken aback by it.
Yeah, I remember her like just Carrie's conversation with Seema. She's just like, "What? Like, does it look like I need to be in this?" Like, just so confused. But
literally,
yeah, and I do think that is like one of the really positive parts about this show is that they really kind of go there and we get to see the experience of being a middle-aged woman and just like the like conflicting feelings that come up around aging. So I love how they just keep it real about that.
yeah, 100%. That was another thing that I enjoy about the show, and I can't think of any other examples, but you are right that it is a show about women in their 50s that don't live, other than like I would say Charlotte, like a traditional lifestyle, like married and having kids. So like I guess that is one thing that it has going for it.
Yeah.
So Seema and Carrie meet up. She's like offended, and Seema's like, "Hey, but it doesn't matter because you need Enid as like good word for your new book because she is doing all of the press for Loved and Lost."
Yeah.
She's like, "Hey, fine, I'll like put myself out there." She bumps into Bitsy again, another character from the series proper, and Bitsy is trying to set her up with this guy named Marlon, and Carrie's like, "Oh, that's like where I'm getting all of these like rando text messages like from this old man." It's it's like one of Bitsy's like previous suitors.
I knew immediately that something was gonna like happen there. Like, I don't know. I just knew it was gonna just but honestly, nothing prepared me for what actually.
Yeah, literally, like I actually don't want to talk about this. I just want to like skip over this, but like so Enid is like giving like a big speech. Fucking Gloria Steinman is there, which it's like, how did you get a cameo from Gloria Steinman?
Oh, literally.
And then like just the way that Carrie interacts with her is like just so funny, and it's like a big deal. She finally goes back with Enid. She's like, oh my God, Gloria really like moved me. I'm gonna write for Vivant. And then while 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 Gloria was giving her moving speech, Bitsy sends one of Marlon's old dick pics to her.
Oh my God. Like, and the whole scene was so chaotic because it was like, wait, what happened with Carrie's phone for whatever reason that I can't remember.
Were you thinking of Miranda's phone when it went off at Che's?
No. I'm like,
Oh,
how was
Carrie's
it
phone.
exposed? Like, wasn't it exposed like at the party that of like she saw the nude on her phone?
Yes. Okay. So then they take a picture. Enid.
Yes. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Gloria and Carrie, and then she's like, Enid is like, oh, can I look at that, like, just to see if I look cute or whatever? Which
Yes,
was like,
and she
again, LOL. And she
Flipping through. First of all, that gives me so much anxiety. Like, that has actually happened to me in real life when you're like, oh, look at this picture, and people like start scrolling. Like, do not scroll, like, please.
No.
And she's just like, and Carrie like trying to defend. Like, there's literally like my jaw dropped. Like, I was cringing so hard. I could not believe that. Like,
Which, like, okay, one thing, it reminded me of How to Get Away with Murder. Like, why is your dick on a dead girl's phone?
oh my God, so iconic. Oh my
Oh my God, so funny. But okay, also, that kind of, doesn't that insinuate that she saved it?
Yes, that's why I'm just like, what is happening here? Like, oh my God. And so I just thought it was like such a funny way to just be like, yep, so now you have to donate. Like, Carrie's like, okay.
Yeah, and then basically she's like, oh no, sweet pea, I wasn't like looking for you to like write for Vivant. I just wanted you to donate 100K. And then after Enid's like, why do you have my boyfriend's dick on your phone? She's like, okay, I'll just pay the 100K and like see myself out.
I know. That was really funny though.
It was really funny. Like, this is Sex and the City done well, where it's like like pure comedy, and the characters like have egg on their face. But I think the last thing I want to say is like, what was that dick pic? Because like it was just like,
oh, you had to bring the visual back to my.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Leeza. I'm sorry, but like, it was just a zoomed up picture of this guy's like flaccid dick, and it was just like
horrifying.
Like the angle and stuff. It's like, how is this shot? Like, I was just like, I feel like nobody in like the costume department or set designer or whatever, whoever procured this dick pic has never seen a dick pic before.
Like, what is this? How is this taken? Like, there's so many questions, but then there's like zero questions because I literally don't want to know.
literally. I feel like with this type of stuff, like when there was a prosthetic dick on Sex Life and stuff like that, people were like writing articles about like all this information.
Yeah.
This just like crickets. Like, no, everyone was like, Kate, we're just moving on because like,
put the blindfolds on, please.
Literally.
Oh my God.
Literally. Okay, let's talk about Miranda. I would say she is the one that is like floundering the most, seemingly in life, but also just like in character progression.
There's zero character progression. Like, it's almost like like regression. Like that, and that's like probably one of the biggest qualms I have with the writers. And I'm just like, this is not Miranda. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm like, where's your strength? Where's your backbone? Like, the way that like Che talks to her all the time, and just like just everything. I'm so frustrated by her character right now.
Me too. I'm always like yelling at the screen. She's fucking sleeping on our old couch. in this episode with Steve, like upstairs, and then Brady. Steve, we finally get Steve in episode 4, and he's doing the like punching bag.
I was like, Steve, wait up. You're looking good a little bit.
Yeah, like, he got like hot. He did like a post breakup like glow up.
Literally. I was like, wait, who is that? Like, why does his body look like that? Like, oh my God.
He was so fucking ripped. So yeah, that was funny.
It was definitely like a thirst trap scene though, a little bit too.
It was, yeah, they were throwing him a bone after they made him like a bumbling idiot in season 1. Like, yeah, they owed him that. But they're in therapy. Steve mentions he still has the bar Scout, but isn't that okay, like, please remind me, is this the bar that he opened with Aiden?
Yeah, I think it had to be. Yeah, because he was right, because he was just working at one when they met, and then he opened one with Aiden. Yeah,
so that is weird to me, because like I guess either Aiden like could have, like, Steve could have bought him out or whatever, but like, or they're still co-owners, or like, I don't know, it's just weird how
yet another plot hole by the writers.
Yes, like in the movies and then in this series, like they talk about Aiden like they have no connection with him. Yeah. So, and like just that there's no mention of him with the bar. So Brady is talking about how he doesn't want to start college, but Miranda thinks she can't say anything because she feels like she's ruined the family. Which is a hard place to be. I feel like I've been, obviously not in this exact scenario, but in that position too, where you're like, I'm already the one that like fucked up. Like I can't like be making any like calls at this point.
Yeah. And I get that. And I understand her guilt, but I do still think that just like her behavior is just not authentic, because like seeing Miranda like try to like tiptoe around the house and be super jolly, like that's just never been her personality. So I understand the guilt portion and like why she's probably gonna try to play it nice, but like the way she's acting just still seems really like out of character from what we've seen in the past. So I don't know, but yeah,
absolutely. Che is moving into their new apartment in Hudson Yards, and Lyle, who we met in a previous episode, Che's ex-husband, is there helping Che move, like drove them across the country. And we learned that they used to be in a throuple, and they like kind of try to like start to hook up. Like, so Miranda and Che, they're like, Lyle passed out in the bed. Miranda and Che fell asleep in the bed. They start hooking up. Lyle joins. Miranda's like, hey, I'll try a threesome. And then she gets a Charlie horse and has to sleep on the couch. Like, it was so fucking funny.
Oh my God. Like, and it was just so crazy too, because she's just like, what's happening? And then she's like, okay, I guess I'll try it. And the way she just like, and that's what I'm saying, it's just like she's constantly just being like kind of embarrassing and cringy and just like, oh, it's like, what's going on here? But no, that scene was super funny. And then she had to go to the broken couch, and it was just like a mess.
It was such a mess. Yeah, that's like something also that isn't part of her character, because I feel like she was, again, not as maybe like sexually liberated as Samantha, but like she had that like vibrator storyline, and then in this series she's like trying to work a strap on, but like is like fumbling. Like, I don't know, I'm just like, if you had a vibrator like 20 years ago, like, I don't know, you probably aren't like a bumbling idiot, I guess.
Exactly. Like, I'm just like, what?
It's just so weird. I will say it was really sweet that Che comes out and lays on the broken couch with her. That was like a sweet little moment in their relationship.
Yeah, it was.
So Charlotte's kids are away at sleepaway camp, and like all the parents at their school are very excited. I must say, watching all of these parents on this TV show make me like not want to have kids. Like,
they're like literally so like stoked, celebrating at the school. Like literally the bus drives off and 2 seconds later they're like, woo!
Like, I was like, is it that bad? Like, it's okay.
I
Also,
mean,
like,
we see how like Charlotte's kids treat her. So if all the kids are like that, then yeah.
fucking Lily and Rock are the fucking devils.
They're the
Like,
worst. The
they're
worst.
literally the worst.
Oh my
They
God.
treat her like a literal, just like
Servant.
butler. Yeah, it's so bad. Okay, I'm looking at this next point in our outline, and I actually want to kill myself. Like, I actually like this is so embarrassing. So Harry can't come. He will orgasm, but he like nothing comes out. He doesn't like ejaculate.
Yeah.
So they have like a brunch round table discussion about it.
I love that they still have those in the show because I love them so much.
It makes me like so happy when they have those because I feel like that was just like the
Such a big part of the show.
of the main series.
Yeah.
So and then just like their quippy little one-liners and stuff.
Best writing of the whole show.
Like finally.
Yeah.
And then Charlotte goes and teaches Harry Kegels, and then he can like ejaculate again, and that's like that's literally like her whole plot.
Okay, can I like bring up something though?
Yeah.
So you know how we're like literally dying at like these scenes and like the
Yeah.
nude picture. And I'm
Yeah.
like, why does this disturb me so much? Because it's like I watch a lot of HBO, like I watched The Idol, like we've seen these type of sex scenes before, but it's just I don't know, I'm like am I like ageist? Like is it just because they're older and or is it just because it's like it's not something we like let our minds kind of explore like when you get older and you're still having a sex life, because it's like obviously you're still married and older people still have sex lives, but I don't think we like we obviously don't think about it. And so I think when they have these like very realistic scenes and scenarios, it's still just very like I don't want to think about that.
No, I think you're totally right, because I feel like if this was a plot point in the first series, if I was talking about it, it might be like a little squeamish, but like I definitely don't think I'd be having these like adverse reactions or like the threesome or like something like that. Cause like Charlotte almost has a threesome in I think the first series, or someone does, and like didn't bat a fucking eye. Like,
there was like way more like sex scenes and nudity before, but now I'm just like, oh my God.
100%. And then I think the other aspect of it, so I definitely think it's the age. I just think that also the vibe of the whole show is slightly cringe.
True.
So everything,
it's not
even like
actually sexy. It's just like
exactly
it's funny and silly. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I just think even if it's like a serious scene or like something that would seem normal, I just kind of am a little cringy.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. That makes sense.
No, but like I think you're right. I think it's kind of a both things.
Yeah.
Leeza, I'm so glad we are getting so much Leeza content this season, which is really nice. I love her character.
Yeah, I really like her and like the family and her husband. So yeah, I'm really enjoying them.
Me too. And I think that out of the women that they added to this series, her relationship with Charlotte and then her character just seems like the most like integrated and like that it would be realistic.
Yeah, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. It's 100% like who Charlotte would try to be friends with, and like it just it makes sense more than like other new characters for sure.
Totally, because Miranda has a kid, but Carrie doesn't, and Miranda's kid is in like a different age group than Charlotte, so it makes sense for her to have mom friends that are like where their kids are around the same age.
Yeah, 100%.
So her and her husband are constantly working. We see this like throughout the whole season, and they have an anniversary party, but Herbert forgets to send out the invites.
I was
Uh,
cracking up. I would
it's-
literally kill my husband. Like, you literally had one job.
okay,
Like,
but it's
actually.
so it's so easy. Like I was like, this is relatable content because I feel like so much stuff is like virtual nowadays that it's
Mhm.
like if you're not walking it to like the mailbox, it's so easy. Like, did I click
Yeah,
send
to
or
not
not?
send.
Like,
I know, but
like
it's like, did no one text you and be like, oh, can't wait for the party? Or like,
yeah,
you just didn't talk to your friends at all? Like, I don't know. I would literally kill him. Oh my
yeah.
God.
Literally. So the only people that showed up were people that they told in
Like,
person
verbally, yeah.
verbally. So it was like art gallery guy that talks to Charlotte and
Mhm.
remembers her from her old job, and then Lisa's dad and Herbert's mom who like don't get along.
That mom is so crazy. But yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
sorry. Well, something I want to touch upon, the art
Yeah.
guy with Charlotte. Was there like flirty vibes, or am I just like
I
crazy?
feel
I
I
was
feel
like,
like
don't
that's
you dare cheat on Harry. Like, I was freaking out. Because these
we've been
fucking writers would write some bullshit like that. And I would
we've
have
been
to
through
riot.
enough. Like, yeah, like
You literally
we
killed Big. Do not cheat on Harry. I can't take it.
yeah, yeah, and like just Steve is a goner. So like,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my god. I think it's just Victor Garber like just gives off like sex appeal.
Does he?
Like
Does he
yeah.
really? Okay. I'm
I'm like
cracking
getting
up.
exposed. Yeah. Like I think so. Like I think those are the
Didn't pee my
vibes.
pants. God.
My
Oh.
God.
No, but yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just felt like I was like so scared that that scene was gonna go somewhere different. So
Totally. And we'll see because in a later show, a later episode, I think she says she does want to work with him because
Mhm.
he like offers her a job. So
Yeah,
maybe he'll have another like I don't know, scene with
cameo or moment. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, oh God.
yeah, with Charlotte.
Mhm.
So what do you think? So there's like the in-laws. What do you think about Lisa's dad and then the mom? So they like Lisa's dad is like Herbert only cares about money, and then Lisa like ends up being like, okay, well, Herbert's gonna run for comptroller even though he like doesn't want to.
Yeah.
And then Herbert's mom has been like also in this season so much more, and she's like sitting at the end of the table and like people no one wants to talk to her and stuff like yeah, what are your thoughts?
So annoying. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we've seen this kind of trope before of just like the very like opinionated, in-laws, and just like, yeah, Herbert's mom is just like so mean for no reason. Like, she's just like the worst. And but yeah, I guess we'll kind of see. I'm waiting for the moment where they kind of get a backbone and like have more boundaries when it comes to them. Like, I feel like
Right.
hopefully that's coming. But yeah, for her to just be like, oh yeah, Herbert's gonna run, I'm like, I don't think you want him to do that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm interested to see how that storyline is really gonna play out. But yeah, those in-laws are something else.
Something else. And you're right though, because it is I feel like maybe why they work so hard because their parents are like so hard to impress.
Mhm.
And it was also giving me deja vu to when Bunny was the in-law of Charlotte,
Oh yes, yes,
McDougal's
yes. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
mom,
Mhm.
and just like was so like in their business when she like didn't need to be.
Yeah. And it also just from like a cultural perspective, like I think them, just being a black family who is, successful, I feel like they had their parents who like really worked hard to get them there, and they have these like very high standards of like how they want them to live and how they want to be successful. And like we've seen like kind of glimpses of this when like Herbert yelled at the taxi like guy, and just like the mom seeing him on the street and being like, I don't know who that is. You know what I mean? It's like they feel like they have to be like top tier, especially like the added on layer of just being Black people. So yeah, I definitely can see like why they just feel like more pressure in general, like from their parents, from the world. So yeah, I love how they like touch on that.
Totally. And it's nice that it's finally a conversation about like racism or like equity or just a Black experience that
Yeah.
not just like forced in or like in a quick moment or like conversation between one of the main cast members and like one of the like added cast members.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those kind of points have kind of mellowed into the show instead of being like as like forced down the audience's throat as season 1. And like
season 1
kinda,
was so bad.
it was so bad.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like this storyline just feels more like it was meant to be a part of this show. And I think that's good, because then I feel like people will get new takeaways instead of the takeaway being like how distracting it is that it's different than the original series.
Right.
Because I feel like then people are actually like listening to like
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree. And I just love how subtle it is now. Not down your throat.
Yeah,
So,
like it's like it's subtle in like a way that it's like a normal storyline for someone versus like almost like set up in a way that just was like so artificial.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I've been loving Lisa's thing, but speaking of like Naya just straight up was not in this episode. And I heard someone say this on a podcast I was listening to the other day, but like because Miranda was in LA and at the point on the earlier episodes, Naya didn't have connections to other characters. She like just straight up like wasn't in the first like third of this season.
Yeah. And I didn't really like the way they kind of played out her marriage. Like it was very weird. It was just like, okay, it's done. Like just over the phone one day. I'm like, he's not even like actually cheating. Like it was like weird. Like I was like, why are we getting a literal divorce? Like I'm like, this is like 0 to 100. You know?
Yeah, I like was like, why did they film all his scenes on FaceTime?
Yeah.
They didn't even have an in-person conversation. I think like we saw their marital issues and like that they were differing on having kids and stuff throughout season 1, but then there was a point in this season that I was like, I didn't even know if they were like fully divorced or just like taking a break or like separated or like whatever.
Yeah, I thought he would be back and he's just not back. And
He's just like, straight up not
She's
back.
learning how to like be alone and date again. I'm like, what is happening? Because I just felt like they leaned so far into the whole like fertility storyline that it was like we just didn't really get like a clear answer. Or, I don't know. It was just really weird. So totally. I hope they develop Naya's storyline a bit more, because right now it's very, I don't know, like kind of stale and weird.
Yeah, 100%. Because like I was like in like episode 2 or something like that, he literally was like, I think we should do surrogacy. And then the next episode, it's like, also, by the way, we're divorced.
Yeah, like just literally in like 5 minutes, it was just done. And that was it. And I was like, oh my God, okay.
Yeah, I feel so bad that her character just like isn't, like fitting into these storylines until she does host like a dinner with Carrie and Miranda like later in the season. So like we're back, but it was just, I felt so bad for her in this like first like third of the season.
Yeah, me too. 100%.
Okay, episode 5, Miranda is cramping Che's style because Che is smoking, drinking, partying to the wee hours of the morning. And Miranda's like in classes at NYU, I think. And Miranda's like really trying hard to cheer Che up because
trying way too hard.
trying way too hard and being like really overbearing because Che, their like pilot came out or it was getting tested by a group, like a test audience before it got picked up. And in the test group, people were like there was like a bunch of people that were like, yeah, this is like a cute show and stuff like that. And then someone, a Brooklynite, a genderqueer person, was like, I think that Che is cheesy and they don't portray the non-binary experience. It was
drag Che to filth, like dragged.
Literally,
oh my god,
it was so painful. Like it was so painful, but okay, it was so true though.
100%, yeah.
Like everything
no
they
lies
said
were
was,
told.
Like exactly, it was so accurate. So then obviously like the pilot isn't getting picked up, and Che's really upset, rightfully so, that like their character has been distilled to like a cheesy sitcom. And
I want to bring up the funny conversation though, because when Che is like kind of like venting to Miranda about how people were just dragging the whole show, and Miranda's like, oh well, they're just like not your demographic, and it's like, no, it was literally like a queer person from like Brooklyn, or like, I don't know, it was like her, like the exact like demographic. And it was just
I'm
so
literally
funny.
laughing so hard because it was so funny, because Miranda was like, well, obviously like it's just about like a bunch of straight people, like what are they gonna say? And then she's like, no, like it was someone from Brooklyn that identified as queer. Like, like it was just so fucking funny.
That was so funny. Oh my god. So it just like the knife was stabbed even further.
Even further. So Che asked for time apart from Miranda, and Miranda like at first like doesn't really get it, but then like kind of.
So how do you feel about
God?
There's been so many times in this season where it's like Che just is like rawr, and then it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I love you. And it's just very like, I don't know whether to dislike them, and like it just has always seemed very toxic, even from the end of last season. And I'm just kind of like, in the writer's room, I'm like, are we supposed to want them together? Like, it was like always very weird to me, because they would have these very sweet moments together, and then it was just like Che would just be really kind of mean and dismissive and just get out of here, Miranda, or just yelling at her in California, and just like so bothered by Miranda's presence. And we just see Miranda like a puppy dog, like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, I can't watch this. Like,
no, I know.
I don't know. So how do you like perceive the whole dynamic?
Like, this is what I am still so confused by. And maybe that this is real life. Like, it's like you root for the couple even if they're like not supposed to be together. But I was like, hey, I don't like super love the Che character. Like, they're just not doing it for me. And that sucks, because we do need more non-binary characters in like popular TV. But like, why do they have to be annoying?
Right. It's like, I don't even mind Che like as a character, because like they're very funny and just, you know, like it brings a lot of good representation and stuff like that. But it's just in the relationship specifically with Miranda, it just bothers me so much.
Yes, because so I think that they need to work on specific things like that make them not ready for a relationship, or maybe a relationship with a person that has like a kid and an established career. It's like they're trying to do the Hollywood thing. Miranda, it's like, has been living in New York City for 30 years, has an 18-year-old, has a fucking law degree, and is studying for their master's or PhD or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think like that just, I think, clashed. And I thought Che was like really selfish in a lot of parts.
Oh,
like
100%.
when like when Brady wanted to come home after he got broken up with, and when Miranda's like trying to sleep before her early morning classes and Che's like has a bunch of people over, like I just think like Che, it's like you're better single. But
Mhm.
I just think it was weird, speaking about like their relationship in particular, that it's like, weren't we supposed to root for them? Because like
That's what I'm
it's been
saying.
like a season and a half of their relationship, and then they just
Yeah.
quickly broke up, and then
Mhm.
now like Miranda's like out there dating again. It just doesn't, I don't know, I don't know if we were supposed to root for them or not. I'm confused.
Yeah. I guess it was just kind of, I think the whole thing was just for Miranda to just experience this, because I guess that's what happened in Sex and the City before, right? It was like they were always dating people, but they would only last for like a couple episodes or something like that. Or I mean, obviously this was like a whole like 2 seasons, but I feel like they never really, it wasn't until later seasons where they really got serious with a certain character. So I don't know. Yeah, I really don't
Yeah.
know if it was just like an experimental relationship or if we were really supposed to like root for them. I don't know.
Root for them like we do a Carrie and Big. Like that's what I'm confused about. And like
Yeah.
I think that
Well, I don't even
I
think we really rooted for them
yeah,
until the very
true.
end. So
Yeah, that's a good fucking win. I think the other thing is like I think that people realize that the premise of the show is to be dating, and it
right.
was hard when everyone was in like a long-term relationship.
That's true.
So I think they just needed to make some of the characters single.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Makes
yeah.
sense. 100%. But yeah, just when it comes to Che's lifestyle at that point, it was just like that was another thing about the relationship. I just felt like they didn't ever have like conversations. It was just like, oh, move with me, come with
No.
me. And it's like, okay, well, Miranda's like a lot older than you are. Like, what does the lifestyle look like? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like they just never had any conversations about things. So I just thought it was really weird.
Totally. And I think their relationship actually ended up evolving a lot around sex. And I think
It
just
was,
for
yeah,
like, yeah, a
100%.
long term relationship, like you have to have more substance.
Yeah. Yep, definitely.
So Carrie,
Yeah, okay.
she attends Charlotte's Halloween fundraiser. And I guess like leaving the party, she stops in a bike lane and a biker crashes into her.
Hmm.
Which again, I didn't think that this was very like on character too, because I'm like, she's lived in New York for like 30 years.
Yeah.
I feel like a New Yorker would never stop in a bike lane.
Hmm. Who was she
Like,
on the phone with though at the time? I think there was like
oh,
something
good
shocking that was being
question.
told to her. I can't remember.
Oh, was it? I think it was Miranda. Maybe it was it Miranda
Yeah. Yeah, I
with
think it was Miranda
Che?
talking about
Yeah.
something. Was it the like strap-on conversation? I don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe it was. But yeah, I think I don't know. Yeah, but it's still, yeah, you're right. It still just like wouldn't have happened. It doesn't matter like how shocking it was. You don't just like stand in a bike lane. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that just like didn't make sense. So, regardless, the biker who I thought was like a dick, like
Same.
it was so weird how they made him like a redeemable character like almost immediately.
Yeah.
He was so rude when he fell off the bike, but she takes him to urgent care, and it reminded me of when she took
Yes.
Natasha to urgent care
I
after
feel
she
like it
got
was
the
like the
bloody
same
nose.
hospital. Oh my God.
Literally, it was like the same place. Did you watch Darren Star's other show, Younger?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I think you would like it, but
Okay.
he's from he's Charles in the show Younger.
Okay. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
I've seen that man before, but I just couldn't place him. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's in the Darren Star universe, and the most recent episode, the woman that Miranda goes to hook up with is also from Younger. So he's definitely
Oh,
having his like, yeah, his other cast in the show.
okay.
But he's like a big like executive, and his card declines at the urgent care. But so Carrie thinks he's like poor, but then they go to his huge loft. She brings him a care package,
Hmm.
and she realizes he's rich and I guess now eligible for her to date.
Yeah.
So they kiss, and his business partner, who is also very stressed out, his name is Paul, and he interrupts.
That scene was so annoying.
That scene was so annoying because I'm like, you just knew where this was gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
That Paul and the George character were like in a work relationship, and it was interfering with his romantic partners. But I guess that was, again, like that was a very Sex and the City storyline that would happen to someone.
Yeah. And I think, and yeah, I love that you're saying this because I think it does help me to like watch it with a different lens, because it's like they're just remaking the show that they already made, but with like older people. But I guess like that's my thing. It's like at they keep saying we're 56 years old, and it's just like, but you shouldn't be doing the same things like still. Like, I don't know.
She learned nothing. Like, that's such a good
well,
point.
when
like,
we get to Miranda's first female date portion, I'm gonna go in because I have a lot to say about that. But anyways.
So she's like, hey, your business partner is crazy. You obviously have a lot of work going on. She dumps him. He's
like crawling on the floor to get out. Yeah. I was like, he can't see you, Carrie. Why are we crawling?
She doesn't understand any type of technology. Yeah, they're like hooking up.
Mm-hmm.
He's on FaceTime and he just like leaves it on, and he's like yelling at her, and she just like ghosts. Like she just Irish exits.
That was funny.
So fucking funny. Charlotte, hosts this Halloween party. Rock is scouted as a Ralph Lauren model. And she's so excited because she gets to live out her momager like fantasy. She's reliving her own teen model days. This is very Charlotte.
Yeah, she dives fully into that role. So it was funny.
100%. Harry's like apprehensive. He's like, yeah, if you get like a business card like in a store, like do not follow up. Like that is
I kind of thought it was gonna be a scam too. Like I was like really waiting for it to be like in someone's basement or something.
Yeah, me too. But it turns out it's legitimate. And Charlotte takes Rock's like killing it. And Harry wants to see if it's like real or not, and he shows up in his wig that he wore to the Halloween costume as like,
fucking wig,
like as a serial killer, basically, just to see if there's anything sexy going on. He like
looks
asks
so
a
scary.
bunch of people, like
it's like, "What's up, man?" And the guy's like, "Do not speak to me."
He's like, who let you in? He's like, just wanted to see if there was anything sexy going on here. The guy's like, what the fuck?
He's like, we're taking pictures of kids. Yeah. Like, I thought Harry was going to get kicked out. He's being so creepy.
I literally thought they were going to like call security. Like, oh my God. So fucking funny.
So funny.
But yeah, very like the comedic timing of Harry. It was really good. It was really well done.
It was cute. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Naya dresses up as Catwoman to the party. She is, again, like trying to get back in the dating mindset. She gets laid by a super hot guy from a bar, and she does a walk of shame. But, like, it's not a walk of shame because there's no shame in this walk.
Like, right.
She was obsessed. She calls Miranda to like talk about it. And Miranda is like, again, still so tired. So she offers for Miranda to stay in Andre's music room.
That she like manically like threw everything out of one day. Oh my God. But yeah, it was cute to kind of see. Again, it's still very abrupt because it was just kind of like you just got a divorce overnight. But it's kind of cool to see her like exploring. I feel like this is like a character who's like getting into this kind of like casual dating world really for the first time, and which we haven't really seen. So yeah, I kind of like this like perspective on it and just kind of seeing how she navigates it. So it's cute so far.
That is such a good point. I feel like this is very common because she's talking with, I think, Carrie and Seema. I can't remember, at the bar before she hooks up with this guy. And she's like, I don't know what to do. How do people meet people these days? I've only seen 2 dicks. And I think that's actually so common. Like, a woman who, marries maybe the first man that they date, and then, and then they get divorced, and you're just thrown into like 2023 dating.
Which is horrifying by itself.
Which is not great for her, but she's super smart, gorgeous, like she's gonna be fucking fine. Like, Leeza, she dresses up as Minerva, and it's like iconic.
Looks so good.
Like, he refuses to dress up because he is running for comptroller. Do you know what a comptroller is?
I have no idea. Do you?
Me neither. Okay. I didn't even look it up. They mention it every episode, and I just don't know what it is. Okay.
You're right. I just kind of ignore it.
Same. Comptroller oversees accounting departments. They have a broad and deep knowledge of accounting regulations, procedures, and policies.
Oh my god, I still don't really know what that means. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, that is so general.
Oh, I guess they in the city he kind of controls where the finances
go. That makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Cool. But yeah, he doesn't want
his persona to be
party.
And again, that's going back to what I was talking about earlier. It's just they just have so much pressure on them to be this perfect Brady Bunch Huxtable family, I guess. So
yeah, that's actually so true, and I feel like that's a through plot line because just so much pressure, because I feel like I don't know, other people might not, with more privilege, might not notice. They would just dress up and have a few drinks.
Yeah, they don't care. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But later he dresses up as George Washington at home and has sex with Leeza.
That was funny. I thought that was cute. I enjoyed that.
It was very cute. Seema, finally we get something from Seema. She is hooking up with a guy that has ED, erectile dysfunction.
Yes.
Again, another mid 50s plot that I guess is realistic. So he has a penis pump, and they have sex, and she just the first time she's like, hey, this is not the vibe, this takes us out of the mood and stuff like that. But then after a while she's like, okay, I can't be like that. That's so not cool. I'm gonna give it another try. So she does it. They have sex again. When they finish, she pulls out a vibrator.
When he finishes.
You're right. When he finishes, she pulls out a vibrator, and then he gets mad, and it's why are you using that device? And she's like, just wait a second.
Insane men are. You literally have this huge ass pump in a box that you have to physically get up and go get, and pump your penis in front of her for 5 fucking minutes, and she gets out a little ass vibrator to seal the deal, and you're offended? Are you 100%. Insane?
No, it's literally the audacity, because it's for me, if someone pulled out a vibrator after we had just had sex, I'd be like, oh my god, I didn't
please you.
I didn't do something right. This isn't, I'm thinking of myself right now. I'm being selfish. What can I do to make this better? But he just goes off, and she's like, are you fucking kidding me? I have actual a machine drying on my dish rack.
Exactly. Oh my god, that was so funny. And I love how she was just okay, bye, and then she just put the vibrator back on. I was like, that's my girl. I just love her so much.
I love her so much. I really hope again she gets more juicy plot lines, because she's such a fun character. I love that she like just chain smokes in her car and like just doesn't give a fuck. And
Yeah. And I know you talked
yeah.
about like obviously like the earlier episodes, but just I can see myself in Seema so much when she was just like would just cut a guy off. She cut off that like Italian guy.
Yeah, the French guy.
Oh yeah, sorry, French guy. And then like her
I don't know
hairstylist
his
is
name.
like, "This is why you have no man." And I was like so triggered because I was like, this hits a little close to home. So I just love Seema, and I'm just like secretly rooting for her because I see some parts of myself in her. So
I
I just love
love
her.
that. I love that. I know that was so funny. And then she like goes back. She was like, "Okay, maybe you were right. Also, no one else can do a blowout like you." Like,
Yeah. I loved that so much. So yeah, I just want
uh,
to say I just love Seema.
me too. And her outfits
Mhm.
are so gorgeous. All the fashion on, like, some of the fashion is outrageous, but like,
Yeah. We love
also
that
some of
about
it's
Sex and
really
the City
good.
though, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
Not
live.
mad
This is
about that.
like fashion in the Sex in the City world.
Yep.
Okay, episode 6. Carrie is doing a Zoom interview for her book, but it's with an influencer that's like clearly never read the book. It's really awkward. She knocks it off.
I was like kind of rolling my eyes because I'm like, is this how they see like millennials and Gen Z? It's just like we're not all like stupid and yeah, I don't know. I understand like haha, but it was kind of annoying too. But
100%. Also, I always think about like, of course, also like the interview is like disrespectful, but I also
yeah.
think it's like, okay, if you have why is your publicist setting you up with someone is not the target demo for this book, because the book is about being a widow
Yeah.
and this
That's
person's like
true.
20.
They're just like, oh, we're just gonna get you in front of a bunch of people, and it's like, okay, well, that's not who's gonna even enjoy this book. She's like, the book is about death.
Literally, and it's like, where's Samantha? Like, Samantha would never do this. And then the other thing I was thinking though, I'm like, okay, but sometimes you do have to talk about people that aren't your like main demo, but you can relate pieces of it to them to like bring them on board. And she just like, she doesn't give a fuck about any of that. Like
Yeah.
Carrie.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah, like I think like, if like people like our age could still read a book like that and it could be like very impactful. So yeah.
absolutely. 100%. Like for other people in our lives, like
hmm
relating to them, or like we're just out of interest or like whatever. But she just like, yeah, like doesn't care. But also the interview is like disrespectful. So it's like kind of twofold.
Yeah.
She is a keynote at WidowCon.
I loved this like
This
this whole
whole, yeah, me
it was
too.
awesome.
She asked Che to go with her. It's like a convention for people that have lost their spouses. She goes after a like comedian
hmm
that's like killing it on stage, and she's like, fuck, 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 fuck. Like,
That
I'm
was
about to
so
be like
wild.
so sad, but
hmm
turns out like that's what the audience needed, and
Yeah.
it like worked out for her.
hmm Wait, and I loved like the writing partner, Carrie. Wait, can we talk about this for a second? Because I'm like,
Yes.
why didn't Carrie remember her? Like, was she like literally? I was so confused by it. I'm like, is this a character who was on the show and I'm missing something? Or
Yes, I had the same thought, and I
okay,
looked it up, and Rachel Dratch, who plays the other Carrie, the
yeah,
writing partner, wasn't on the
Karen.
show. Karen, yeah, rebranded to Carrie, which was funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
But yeah, so this was like a writing partner, and then she was like mad at her for selling. I don't know, they were writing like something for TV or whatever, and I was like, oh, is that around the time
The
where,
Hollywood show.
yeah, where they go to LA? But I don't think it was. I think they just like made this up.
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering that because I was like, oh, this is kind of weird to me, but yeah, but
Also, it just like put her in everything. I fucking love Rachel Dratch.
yeah, such a good actress. Like, just the funniest, like, quirkiest person. So it was good. It was so funny.
So funny. And like this WidowCon gives Che some perspective, and then Carrie emails Aiden, but like, why was she prompted to do this? Do you remember? Oh, is this after Naya hosts the dinner?
Yeah, it was after the dinner. Yeah, because they were talking. Yeah, they were talking about finalizing
Yeah.
their divorces. Yeah, and it was just like, oh, do you talk to your ex? And Charlotte was like, oh, I. What did she say? She like doesn't talk to Trey because he doesn't want to talk to her. So it was like that conversation. I guess it just like brought Aiden up in her head. Oh yeah, no, Charlotte was like, oh, how is Aiden? Or like, is he single? Or like, yeah. So that's what happened there.
Right. So she emails him and this is so Carrie. The first thing is, "Hey stranger, remember me?" Like,
Crazy.
fucking crazy. Like,
Can you imagine like the person who like ripped out your fucking heart like emails you and is like, "Hey stranger," like after like 20 years? I'd be like, "Wait."
like literally who you both kissed, like cheating on your partners in Abu Dhabi, and like almost ruined
Oh my god.
like his life for the second time.
Literally.
And then
Carrie's just the messiest girl alive. Like
she's so toxic.
56 years old, still just messy as all hell. I can't.
100%. But then we find out, I guess through email, I'm like, I can't remember any of the details of this, that he's like divorced. He sold his furniture company to West Elm and he moved to Virginia.
Oh no, yeah, no. So Carrie did know. I guess she has creeped on him somehow online and like does like know all this information, but she just hasn't spoken to him. So I think she goes home to like send the email, and then she doesn't. And then I think like the next day or something, she ends up doing it. But I don't remember what prompted her to do it. Her psychosis prompted her to do it. Like, I don't know. She's insane.
Yeah. Other than her being Carrie.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
She doesn't need a reason at all.
Yeah, she doesn't.
Oh my God.
So in Charlotte's life, Rock's photos turn out amazing. Everyone's stoked. And then Lily is like, I'm going to lose my virginity today.
That was so wild.
Fucking hell. So then Charlotte's like, hey, I don't want to have like the same relationship to sex like growing up.
Yeah. Which is fair. But then it's like
so fair.
But it's like you go to like talk to your daughter and she's like, ew, I don't want to talk to you. It's like, well, you wanted to talk to me about it 5 fucking seconds ago when you like announced it to the whole kitchen. So I think I can like talk to you about it now. Like, Lily is so annoying.
100%. Lily is so fucking annoying. And then like, and she's just so like, I don't know, like Blair Waldorf or something. Just like, I'm losing my I decided today I'm losing my virginity.
Yeah. Oh my God.
She's like trying to talk to her, and the first thing she goes to is prioritizing her pleasure. And I'm like, this is, I feel like, this is like you jumped to like point
yeah,
B.
like lesson number 10. Or,
yeah. Yes, yeah. Like, let's start with something like a little simpler. But there's a snowstorm. Lily goes to have sex with Blake, but he doesn't have condoms because they're fucking like 15.
Literally.
And then Charlotte's like, okay, well, like, I can't get them to you. It's snowing. And Lily's like, okay, well, I'm going to just have sex without a condom then. Bye. And she's like, no, just wait.
She's
I'll
so
bring
manipulative.
them to you.
Oh my God.
Like,
that
that's
was awful.
so bad.
It was funny because I watched this episode with my mom.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, well, she would have just been having a baby then. I don't know, like whatever. Because it was just like, there's no way in hell I'm just gonna go and like buy my daughter condoms. Like, I don't know. It was just so annoying.
Charlotte's like, I can buy you Plan B tomorrow when the snowstorm's gone. Yeah. Like, fucking hell. So yeah, this was weird. Like, so she goes like on this big voyage to
literally a voyage to
buy condoms. And she calls Carrie, and Carrie's like, I don't use condoms. Like, I'm not scared of getting pregnant, obviously. And I was like, STIs? Have you ever heard of them? Like,
I know. And it's actually like, this is like a real thing that like elderly people, especially in like elderly homes, they like get so many STDs because, you know, they just don't care because they're older. And it's like, no, you still need condoms, you guys. So that was like a
Literally.
weird thing for Carrie to say.
That was so weird. That was really weird. Also, okay, call me crazy, but like, do you think when Charlotte was like, when Lily was like, I'm gonna have sex today, do you think it would have been more reasonable? And maybe this just doesn't make for good television, but if she was like, okay, love that for you. Can you wait till we can get you on the pill and then you can go and have sex? Like, do you think that would have made more sense?
Yeah, I mean, it totally would have made more sense. But I also don't think Lily's the type of daughter, like you said, like she's very like, I'm gonna do this. Like she's like, I need a piano. You're not gonna buy me a piano. I'm gonna sell all my fucking clothes. She's very like, she does what she wants. So I think Charlotte knows that about her. So she's like, okay, she's gonna have sex today, no matter what. So I need to get her these condoms. But yeah, of course it would have been like, can we just wait and like like, can we talk about this? Like, can we get you on birth
Yeah.
control? Can we talk about STDs? Like, yeah, there's no conversation like that. So yeah, I just feel like, yeah, that totally would have made more sense, but yeah, not great for TV. And I think just Charlotte just knows like her daughter's gonna do it no matter what. So
Which is like, shows the immaturity that you probably shouldn't be having sex. Like,
100%. Lily should not be having sex.
Okay, let's check back in with Miranda. She's, again, super tired from running between Che's apartment, Naya's apartment, and Steve's apartment. Carrie tells her at that dinner that Steve said he'll never take off his ring, which is from season
That was such a
1.
classic Carrie and Miranda moment. Like, why didn't you tell me? You know, like they always get in their little bickery like fights like that.
Yeah, because like, do you think Carrie should know better that Miranda would have wanted to know that at this point?
Yeah, but I think she had good reasoning. Like she said, she was like, I just didn't want you to feel more guilty. So I think it was fair to like, you don't need to tell your friends like every little thing, especially when they're going through a hard time. So I understand Carrie in that aspect.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
For once, I understand.
For once, yeah, she made the right call.
Yeah.
So Miranda goes back to the apartment she shared with Steve, and she's like, you need to find a new place.
Best writing of the season. Mwah,
yeah.
Wait, actually, I'm lying.
Good. Oh my God.
It was good, but then it didn't end the way I wanted it to. But I'll let
yes.
you
Oh my God. Yes. Okay. So then Steve blows up. He's like, you didn't want this marriage. You didn't want this apartment. Like, you didn't even want Brady. And it's like explosive. Like, you just didn't see this coming. It's powerful. Because
I was like, tell us, Steve.
like, it was like low key true. Like, the Brady thing was a low blow because obviously that was
like your son. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was like at the early stages of pregnancy. But like, fucking like finally has like kind of a backbone. But they reconcile. They lay in bed. And then Miranda finds a condom wrapper. Because he's fucking the like Whole Foods cashier girl. And Steve's like, I was never the victim. You made that up in your head.
Okay, yeah, the way the scene just went from like 0 to 100, like it was just so weird because it was like he has this powerful like monologue moment, and then she like really has no comeback. She's like, like literally like I thought she was having like an aneurysm. Like she's just like freaking out, flailing around. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, what is going on? Like this isn't even like Steve, if you say something that powerful and hurtful, you have to just like stand in it. Like you're supposed to like let her just walk out and like cry. Like you're not supposed to be like, oh, I'm sorry. Like
I know, and like old Miranda, I feel like would have brought the same heat.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So it's old Miranda is like not in the building at all. It was just weird. It was like such a powerful scene, and then it was like, oh, I'm sorry, and then we're like hugging in bed, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Like,
yeah,
it was super weird. And then all of a sudden, now you want to get mad? Like you're crying before, but now you want to get mad because you saw a condom. I'm like, Miranda, you've been screwing Che for the past like year. Like, what are we talking about here? It was just so weird. And then Steve's just like, oh yeah, like I'm not a victim. Yeah, it was weird. It was just really weird.
It was really weird. It went from 0 to 100 to 0 again so quickly. But I will say the part that I did like was like You know when you make up in your head that the person is the victim and like you did something bad that they'll never get over and never like forgive you for, and you just continue that storyline in your head, but then that's actually not reality. Like I feel like I do that all the time. And so I liked that part of this.
Yeah, but it was just like a weird, like I feel like that could have happened like in the next episode or something. Like I feel like the whole fight needed to marinate a little bit, you know?
Yeah,
It was just very
it happened so fast.
so fast. I'm like whiplash. I'm like, oh, are we mad? Are we sad? What's happening? So
literally.
no, but yeah, that's so fair because I feel like Carrie's like, oh my god, he's never gonna take off his wedding ring. Like, oh my god, he's, like people were thinking that Steve is like literally like borderline like gonna lose it because of this divorce, and he's literally fine. So I think that really, it was good for Miranda at the end of all of that to just be like, okay, I don't need to like feel guilty anymore.
Totally. And he can stop like pouting around the apartment and just like they can finally like I guess move on.
Yeah.
Che is still depressed, and Miranda and them are just like still not vibing. They're doing cameo recordings in the bed when Miranda's trying to sleep, which is like it was so annoying, but like so fucking funny at the same time. Like the fake voice they were using, like it was just so Che Diaz. Like
And the faces Miranda's like like with like, so startled.
She's like,
what is going
She's
on?
like, what's that voice that you're using? Like, it was so fucking funny. Oh my god.
Have you ever received a cameo before?
No, I haven't. But okay, that's not true. I received a group one. So it wasn't to me specifically, but it was like to a group.
Yeah, it's like my best friend got me one, this guy from The Bachelor, like for my birthday. And it is so funny to think about like what they were doing when they're just like randomly sending you this video. And they're like, hey, what's up, Leeza? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like so funny. So it was kind of funny to see like them putting that in the show, because it's like,
because it is that. Like it is so, where like, they're weird, just like, like in their living room, like between like not appointments, but like I don't know, obligations or whatever, and they just like whip out their phone and record one.
Yeah. Exactly.
So fucking funny.
And this kind of leads to their breakup.
Yeah. Okay, I will say, like, again, like when we were talking about their relationship and like if we're supposed to root for it, I was shocked by this.
Really?
I thought like, okay, like they were obviously having problems, and I thought like they would eventually resolve them. So for them to just like cold turkey break up, like seems like there's no chance for them to get back together. I was really surprised.
I wasn't surprised I broke up. Like I was like, okay, it's about time. But I don't know. There is a part of me that still feels like there's gonna be more happening there. I don't think the door's completely closed, but I think Miranda's gonna try to explore more, and then she'll probably see like, okay, once Che gets their shit together, I don't know. I don't think the door's closed. So we'll see.
That's like interesting because you're right. They are still in the show. Like they're in episode 7 hanging out with Carrie.
Yeah. Going to WidowCon.
Yeah. Like, okay. But what is like the next move? Because it's like, I feel like Che's like either gonna become like a vet tech again and be like depressed that their like comic TV shit didn't work out, and then also they haven't worked out any of the issues that they had previously. So I don't know. I kind of would be upset if they got back together at this point.
But I mean, Sex and the City is kind of notorious for people just getting together and when they shouldn't be, and like
it's so true.
Like the way that Carrie and Big would just always just find themselves back to each other.
So true.
So it's kind of giving that for me. So yeah, I don't know, but like nothing's like, you literally cannot predict the show's writing at all. Like we never know. Ever.
Yeah.
Every episode is a new adventure. So we'll see. I'm excited to see like how it unfolds for sure.
Totally. So Leeza is being honored at MoMA for being a Black female filmmaker. the storm doesn't stop her. She still like treks down through New York, and Herbert has a conflicting event, but then ends up going to her event instead, which I thought was really sweet.
Yeah, it was sweet. And just something I obviously have to bring up that I saw a lot of people talking about on Twitter, especially like as a Black woman watching, it was a very powerful scene to see her sort of like carry her wig in a box. Because, you know, Black women, it's like if our hair is like getting wet in the rain and snow, like it's gonna just all gonna be messed up. And just having that powerful moment where she like takes the wig out the box, puts it on her head, and then she kind of makes eye contact with that older Black woman, and she's like, yep, we're here. You know, it was like a very subtle thing, but I feel like Black women watching were able to like look at that scene and be like, yep, this is like something we would like have to do, you know? So yeah. I thought that was really cute. So I just wanted to make a little nod at that.
I liked that scene, yeah, where the other woman was like, oh my God, like, just like this is, I'm not like this is our lives, but like this is, yeah, I guess.
Yes.
Like just what we have to do. Like, yeah. I don't know if she was like a participant or like for the event or something like that.
Yeah, I think she was just like someone maybe who was in the audience and she just saw her getting ready in the bathroom and was like, oh, good for you.
Also, it's like, give her a green room. Like
yeah, that was one thing that was unrealistic. I'm like, you would never, no Black woman would ever just like put their wig on in a public bathroom in front of everybody like that. But whatever, I digress.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So good. Let's round out this episode with Seema. She wants to get a summer house with Carrie in the Hamptons, and we get this another Bravo joke, which it's like our two worlds colliding because we're also summer house watchers.
Yes.
So for her to make like a summer house joke, I was like, this is hitting like way too close to home.
I know. It was kind of crazy and a little random, but I loved it. I mean, we know that like Sarah Jessica Parker and Andy are like pretty good friends in real life. So I thought it was really cute to kind of throw that in there.
Oh my God, I totally didn't make that connection, but you're right. Do you think that's why we've had the two Bravo references?
I think so, probably. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how involved like Sarah Jessica is with like the writing and stuff like that, but I just know that they're friends. Like they hang out, you know, like if you watch Andy's stories, she'll be like, oh, with Sarah, like we just had dinner. So like they're very close. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's like there's some connection there. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's talk about our final episode 7, bring us up to present day.
Okay.
Carrie finally gets a reply from Aiden and he says, what's up? What's up? ? He asked Carrie out for dinner on a Thursday, but it's Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Che and Carrie hang out again. Che, we learn, is Airbnb-ing their apartment. They find a random dog and take them to the vet where they used to work. And basically they get offered a job. And then we get like, I feel like this is, I don't want to like bury the lead. Like Aiden and Carrie reunite.
Yeah.
They like have kind of a misunderstanding about the location of the restaurant, but like this is huge. Like
it's a huge moment we've been waiting for.
Forever. That jacket that he's wearing is getting a lot of hate online.
I was so disturbed. I'm like, what the fuck is he wearing? I hated that jacket so much. So ugly.
So like kind of like militaristic. Like
yeah. But it like wasn't cool on him at all. Ugh.
No. It was so bad. And they hug, then their dinner seems like very natural. Like he's like, I read your book, and they talk about Big. What like overall, are you happy for this reunion?
I don't know. I think it's nice. I thought it was really nice to like see him. It's like, you know, it's like we all like him, you know, so it's not about him. Like we love Aiden. I don't know. It's just like a weird situation, right? It's like I'm and we kind of see it unfold, right? Of like it's obviously a weird situation to reunite with a woman that you loved and thought you would spend your life with, but then she like kept picking this other man over you. And now that this other man is dead,
Dead.
now she's like, "Hey, what's up?" Like that's kind of crazy, you know? And obviously, and I don't want to skip ahead, but we see kind of like how the night ends and they're like, they're gonna hook up again, and she's like taking him to her apartment, and you can see how deeply traumatic and triggering this is for him. Like this man literally has PTSD. He's like, I'm not going in there. Like I
You
can't go
literally
in there.
could not
It's
go
like,
up the
holy
stairs.
shit. And I was like, wait, is it that deep? And I'm like, yeah, it is. Like he was like trying to like rebuild everything. Like he really wanted to start a life with her, and she just kind of ruined the whole relationship, like he said, right in those walls. So that was pretty crazy, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree that like it shows how even though this is again I don't know, I guess like maybe like 15 years or whatever after their relationship that like it really impacted him.
Yeah,
I
it did.
just don't know like how someone could ever get over being like so like second like tier.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out, honestly, because for him to have such a strong feeling about even just being in the apartment, there's gonna be more triggers that come up. So I don't know. I'm interested to see. Do you have any like predictions about where this storyline's gonna go, you think?
Yeah, so when I watched the original series, I always thought like Aiden likes an idealized version of Carrie, not her current self. He didn't want her to smoke. He like hated that she spent all her money on shoes,
Yeah.
etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
Like we could go on and on about it. It's like one of the main like the main storylines of the series, but I think I'm like maybe is Carrie that idealized version of herself now, or like or like grown in ways that now he would find,
It work. Yeah.
yeah, like find it to work,
Mm-hmm.
find her to be a suitable partner. I don't know, maybe. I just think that they're like such different people though. Like she is like Manhattan and he is Virginia. Like it just
Yeah.
like that like kind of stuff like never made sense to me. Like they just seemed like such a odd pairing, but I
Mm-hmm.
guess it worked in some ways. But yeah, so
Yeah.
they like go and have sex. They get a hotel, or they go
Mm-hmm.
back to his hotel.
Yeah.
And I heard this on another podcast, so again, not my own thought, but like them yelling, not yelling, but like having an argument, and again, not even an argument, but like some type of discourse in the streets.
Yeah.
I was like, this is Aiden and Carrie, like,
Yeah, 100%. So it's just kind of like, yeah, nothing's changed. He's still very deeply triggered. And so, yeah, I don't know. I think
yeah,
they might try it, but I think there's a lot that's gonna come up that they're at least gonna have to work through. So we'll
yeah.
see. Yeah.
But then, what is Carrie's storyline then? Because it's like it feels like all the people that she's dated in this series since Big has died, which has been like 3 or 4 guys,
Mhm.
like it's just not working. So like, does she date Aiden for a little bit? It doesn't work, and she goes on to another person again, or do you think that this is? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Again, these writers just never fail to shock me. So, um, I don't know. I don't know if that's like if it's and that yeah, that is what's hard about this show because again, I think they're trying to just make it be like, oh, they're single, dating and having sex in New York, but like they're in their 50s. So it's like they should have learned lessons and like they shouldn't be really having the same sort of patterns. I mean, there's obviously stuff you can't help, like, Seema dating a guy with a crazy ass penis pump and just, there's just like certain silly situations that you can't help. But I would think when it comes to someone like this, like Aiden, we should hopefully see the like character development in Carrie to either make it work or to like learn something, you know, even if they don't make it forever, there should be like a very huge like impact on her character development. So
I hope so.
yeah.
I hope so. I guess it's also realistic for a lot of women that are from the generation that these women are from to be in their 50s and have a lot of unresolved shit. Like, I think it's very much of our generation to like have the tools and resources and
that's
like
fair.
less stigma to talk about stuff. Cause like sometimes I do feel like I'm talking about these women like they're from our generation, and it's like, fuck, I hope I have my shit worked out by the time I'm 55 or whatever. But like, I don't know, a lot of women that I know in their 50s, like in my real life, don't have their like shit
They don't
figured
even
out.
like to look back on the past or try to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. So
Bruh.
yeah, who knows if he's here for a short time or a long time. But when I had read interviews with Darren Star and John Corbett, who plays Aiden, it seemed like he's like in it to be like a main, like, I don't know, the vibe wasn't just like cameo, it was like
Oh yeah,
real,
no, there.
so.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna be around. There's definitely gonna be some sort of storyline there, but like, is it Endgame? No idea. doesn't
Yeah,
It doesn't look like it right now, but I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap up with these other characters.
Okay.
Rock is like a new celebrity. Charlotte's running her dog's Instagram account. Like,
Yeah. I really loved this episode for Charlotte, and just like the big breakthrough she had. You know, because we're kind of seeing her really like, you know, we just got off like her being in a store and buying condoms for Lily and like being this momager, and then, you know, taking Rock everywhere and to all these agencies, and then they're just like, I don't want to do it. And and just like, yeah, you just kind of see her kids constantly just not appreciating anything she does for them. And you know, she's getting a cake for Lily. Lily's like, don't eat it, bye, get out of here. You know, it was just so mean. And so then we see
so
her
mean.
take the infamous weed brownie.
I like knew it was gonna be a weed brownie,
Yeah.
which also just like doesn't give me like Lily or her friends vibe. So that was another kind of like random plot
but I mean, you can
twist.
just tell that Lily and her friends think that they're like grown and they're just trying to do these like cool things, like, yeah, we're gonna do weed and we're gonna do the sex, and it's just like, calm down.
I'm dead. Like literally, because at Lily's party they're listening to Taylor Swift.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
like,
They just want to like relate to the lyrics. Like, I don't know.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, like Charlotte finally realizes like, okay, the way that I'm showing up for my kids is not the way they like need me, and so she's gonna call Victor Garber, the art guy,
And
then
have an affair.
bang
I hope
him.
not. I hope not. Oh my God. Dude, Torry, if that happens, I will literally be calling you screaming.
I was just gonna
crying.
say, you literally have to call me,
like
no matter the
crying.
time of night, like literally, like that will be shocking. I don't think that, maybe she'll have like a sex dream about him, but I do not think they're gonna.
You can just have a clip of me screaming in that episode. Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I can't.
I'm stoked. I'm stoked for her. This is like finally. I thought the momager and her just like doing everything for Lily was true to Charlotte, but now she's getting back to her like roots and something that she loves, and I'm stoked.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how that's gonna like play out for sure, and hopefully her children will have some respect.
Yeah, like literally, she's like the nicest, like not chillest mom. Obviously, she's a little bit overbearing,
Yeah,
but
chill,
like,
yeah.
but like, come on, you could do a lot worse.
100%.
Miranda's talking with the girls at brunch. She doesn't know if she's gay. She goes to a bookstore with Naya and meets a voice actor, Amelia Carsey, who's reading Pride and Prejudice, played by a character from Younger, like I mentioned before. And they like flirt and they make Valentine's Day plans. She meets Amelia in her apartment and it's like a mess. She's in sweatpants. It's like cluttered and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
you said you had something you wanted to get off your chest. What is it? Like, please lay it on us.
Okay, like this whole it just okay, again, I think the writers have a problem with kind of like moving things too fast, and it was just like very messy because it was just kind of like she saw her, she like waited for her to come out, and then it was just like Amelia was just like, wait, what's her name in the show? Diana or Amelia?
Amelia.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Amelia was
Yes.
literally immediately just like, oh yeah, let's, it was like, and like, I'm not queer, but I'm just like, how did you guys even know that this was like what was happening? Like it just moved very fast. And she was just, it was like she just came on really strong to Amanda, and it was, I mean, to Miranda, sorry. And I don't know, I just felt like it was like really weird. And then all of a sudden it's like poor Miranda's in this like literal cocktail dress to her messy ass, nasty ass apartment. Like I was literally like, bleh. And she was just being so gross and
Oh
like
my God.
literally the worst person I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it was so crazy that she had like she was literally just sitting on the bed waiting for her to get back. And then freaking Carrie, thank God, voice of reason for which is kind of crazy. Carrie's the voice of reason being like, you can just leave. Like, yeah, Miranda, get the fuck up and leave. Like, what are we doing? She's like, oh yeah, 26-year-old me would have stayed. Like, I'm like, yeah, like what are you doing? And it's like that's again, it's so frustrating watching Miranda just be like this little puppy dog to all these people because it's like what this has never been you. And it's actually not really realistic because again, I feel like people like my mom's age and stuff like that, they're just like, I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you kind of get like meaner when you get older. Like, you have more boundaries because you just like don't care as much anymore. Like, you're not trying to make people happy. And it's like the way that Miranda has just like shifted, and it's just super weird to me. And it was just like, you're that desperate to like get some play with a woman. Like, she's literally disgusting. Like, I wouldn't even want to sleep on that bed. And it was just like, it's just the whole thing just drove me crazy.
100%. And you're right. She says this line. She's like, 35-year-old straight me would have stayed here,
Mm-hmm.
and 56-year-old gay me wouldn't. And I was like, 35-year-old straight you wouldn't have, though. Like, you
Right.
were dating like high powered, like hot doctors, like his neighbor, like her neighbor and stuff like that. Like, you, I feel
Yeah.
like you didn't want to date schmucks like Steve and Skipper and stuff like that. You
Right.
had high
Exactly.
expectations. So I was like, I don't think that actually tracks. But you're right, though. Like, Amelia was doing everything that was like absolutely disgusting. And honestly, it's so disrespectful for you to invite someone out on a date.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if you were going to be in that much of like a mess, you need to cancel and or postpone.
Yeah.
But like inviting her over was like it honestly was disrespectful that the sheets weren't done. Like you had cat litter and like cat poop like just present. Like
It was so disrespectful. Oh my
it was
God.
disgusting.
Yeah.
But I will say from my lesbian friends, I do think that is common for them to like immediately go out on a date and like
Okay. Yeah. I just wasn't sure, but I was just like, yeah.
but it was like I will say the unrealistic part seems like you meet at a bookstore and you like I don't know. I wouldn't be getting vibe like date vibe like ask me out vibes like in
Yeah.
the
It
middle of it.
just,
I don't know. That part was weird to
they
me.
didn't even really let the flirting build up. It was very like, oh,
Or
yeah.
like no texting or like yeah,
Mm-hmm.
FaceTiming or like anything. It was just like
Yeah.
no, let's go on a date. I was like, okay, this is the 90s again. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. That's so funny. Oh, poor Miranda.
Yeah, she's struggling, but I guess she like always struggled through this series. Naya's entire plot line was that she wanted to make a souffle, and she made a souffle and ate it.
Yeah, I was like waiting for a gotcha moment, but nothing really happened. So,
Nothing happened.
and it's just again, it's like this weird. It's like she's getting a divorce, then she's having a one night stand for the first time, and then she's celebrating Valentine's Day alone. It's like I don't know. I don't get the
Yeah.
storyline, but
Yeah, because then she's like getting back in the dating pool, but then wants to be single on Valentine's Day. I,
mhm.
I don't know. I feel bad for her character, honestly, that she's just getting kind of like this like shoot in storyline. Like
Yeah.
and Seema's again was that she wants to take Carrie to a massage because she's stressed for her date with Aiden. And they book it as a couples massage, and they refuse to do the
Yeah, did
massage
you
in the
get
same
like what the
room.
big deal was? Because I feel like people do that all the time. Like you just go with your friend to get a like couples massage or like, whatever. Like it's not that serious.
No, and it's usually cheaper, and single people shouldn't have to suffer like not getting the couple's price because there's only one of them.
Yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
yeah, so that
I mean, I think I
was
understood her point of
weird.
just like why are only couples allowed to get things today, but it still just didn't make sense because like you guys could just still like get a
Just
massage.
do
You know what I
it.
mean?
Totally.
So
Like it was
yeah.
weird for the spa to do that, and I think she was right for saying something, but like they could have also just been like, "Okay, my bad. Like I'll just get the massage in the same room."
Yeah. So I don't know.
Lisa's kid, Herbert Jr., and his girlfriend Baxter are handsy at school. They also have
Ooh,
a
that little boy
Valentine's Day
pissed
date.
me off. He pissed me off.
Why? Because he wasn't listening to his mom?
But it's just like, what makes you think that it's okay to like uh, your girlfriend's like groping you in the schoolyard? I mean, whatever. Like that's like I guess normal shit. But then it's like you're literally just having your girlfriend in your mom's closet taking pictures with the bags.
That
You
was
thought that was
so
normal?
bad. That was so bad. I was like, your girlfriend is using you for like Instagram clout.
And then he's like, Dad, tell her she's wrong. It's like, it's just not wrong. Like, get the fuck out of my closet. The hell? Like, you thought, like, any normal kid would be, like, shaking in their boots, like, being in their mom's, like, expensive ass closet like that. So, I don't know. It was just so annoying. Like, these kids on this
Yeah.
show are so bad.
So entitled. And like,
Yeah.
it's thousands of dollars worth of bags and shoes and clothes. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely get your grimy ass hands out of
Exactly.
that closet.
Yep.
Yeah. That was a weird storyline.
Yeah.
But
It was, again,
I
just kind of
guess
random, but it was, like,
yeah, I
funny.
guess they needed some like hijinks.
Mm.
And then the last storyline, I'm really actually glad we're ending on this because
Mhm.
Anthony, he runs his bread bakery with, I forget what it's called, but it's like hot men deliver, hot fellows maybe deliver
Yeah.
the bread.
Hot fellows, I think.
And he harasses his employees who, but they're like openly doing intravenous drugs like steroids in front of, like, he shouldn't
Mhm.
harass them, but then also like don't do drugs at like steroids at work.
He's like, if you do steroids, get out. And the whole
they
staff
they
just leave.
all leave,
That was
like,
so funny.
slash like don't do steroids at all, like,
Yeah.
but like especially like just them like doing them at work was like so jarring. And then so his
Like over the
entire
bread and everything.
yeah, like so like not sanitary. So his whole staff like of delivery guys leaves, but Drew Barrymore is a big fan of Hot Fellows and wants him and a delivery guy on her
The
show.
show. That was such a good cameo. I love Drew.
It was so good. It was so perfect. And I was like, she would like Hot Fellows. Like this actually, like, I feel like really aligns with her character.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm fucked. He calls Charlotte and she finds a Italian question mark
I think so.
poet in the store. And Anthony's like, we need a specific type of guy because it's a morning show. So
She's
he
like,
can't
I
be
think I
like,
got the guy.
yeah. And she's like, this guy's perfect. He's like a poet. Like, he's not like super muscly. He's morning show hot.
Hmm.
And so they bring him to the set. They get him to change into an outfit. Giuseppe was his name. And he has a huge dick. And it's just like the
Huge.
full outline in
Huge.
the Hot Fellows outfit.
I thought they were gonna get in trouble on the show of like that shouldn't be on there like that or something.
Well, like, okay, I'm like, they black box people on ABC for like wearing a bathing suit on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
It's like he was getting black boxed. Like,
Yeah, 100%.
but
It was funny though.
it was really funny. Drew was making dick jokes, which again, I feel like she would actually do.
Mhm.
And then Ross Matthews, so many cameos this season.
I love Ross. He's like one of my favorite people. So that was
He's
so
so funny, but he just like again like harasses this man and then leaves.
Like, oh,
Like,
you're not in the uniform. All right.
Yeah. It's so bad.
So bad. Anthony's like, I'll pay, like telling Giuseppe, like, please keep delivering for me. Like, I'll pay you whatever you want. He's like, no, I'm a poet. It's like, no, like, just
do it for some money. You were selling poetry for like $1. Like,
yeah.
It's New York. Times are tough out here. Like, I doubt you're turning down this type of money, but
Yeah,
go
exactly.
off. Like,
So I wonder how that's gonna unfold and if he's gonna like kind of get like addicted to it, or if he's, I don't know if he's gonna quit on him. So yeah, that was super funny though. I hope to see it like play out.
Me too. Do you think that they could date? Because Anthony's no longer, obviously Stanford left him in the show but passed away in real life. Do you think Giuseppe and Anthony could get together?
Oh, I didn't think of that angle at all. That'd be fun. Yeah, and it would make things messy at work.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I didn't know if Giuseppe was straight though, or what his orientation was.
Yeah, we actually don't know. And also, if Anthony is going to be his boss, you probably shouldn't date your employee. Like,
yeah, but that's just so Sex in the City, and it would just be such a good storyline.
So fucking funny. Okay, any final thoughts you want to share about and just like that, the next episode? Anything we missed?
No, I guess I would just still say, like, writers, if you're listening, get it together. Like, I don't know, it's just really weird for me to see Miranda in this place. I hope she gets her strength back. I feel like we're seeing Charlotte kind of get her power back in her life. So I'm hoping that Miranda sort of does that as well and kind of like finds her identity and like is like strong in it.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, yeah, we've seen Carrie weirdly be like the voice of reason now, and she seems more like chill and like, oh, I know everything. That's kind of weird. Because she's still messy at heart. I know my messy Carrie is still in there. So we'll see how that plays out, or maybe that is her character development. Like she's more mature now, and maybe her and Aiden can make it work. So again, I'm just hoping that we see these women kind of in a better spot as things go on, because they've kind of just been flailing around for the past season and a half. So I'm hoping things are gonna start getting more serious, and not serious because we love the silly stuff of the show, but I guess like,
yeah,
again, I keep saying this, but it's like character development. I just want to see that, and hopefully the writers can kind of get them back to a place where they're more stable.
Yeah, because there was silliness in the first series, obviously.
Yeah.
But there was like an overarching growth and a character growth, and I just not seen that here.
Exactly.
So yeah, it feels more like things are happening to them instead of like, I don't know, that like they're making things happen, or I don't know what it is, but
yeah.
I think the only plot point I like super, super care about at this point is the Aiden one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a joy to watch the other characters just because it's so nostalgic, and I like the new women that they've added, but the Aiden thing just has me like hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see what's gonna happen.
Me too. Okay, this was so much fun. Thank you. Oh my god, thanks for marathoning this. These episodes.
There's so much to cover, but we did it.
We fucking did it. Can you tell the listeners where they can find you and anything else you want to plug?
Yeah, so you can find me at Leeza Rants on Instagram, and I'm actually gonna send Torry my journal link. If you can put that in the show notes, that'd be great.
Yes, we have to promote that. Seriously, it's in my Amazon cart for when I do like another like a not a haul
on
but...
Amazon buy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
yeah. So obviously if you don't live in the Boston area, I still do virtual circles. I'll do them every other month. So if you are interested in that, just follow Leeza Rants and follow along. And we'd love to have you. So thank you so much, Torry. This was great.
And there you have it. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you to Leeza for joining me on today's episode. If you enjoyed it, once again, leave me a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And you can follow along on socials at RTBB Podcast if you have some commentary, if you want to share your perspective on these episodes, if you want to follow along with celeb news and just whatever is, going on in my life. I hope you are safe and healthy out there. As always, I'm your host, Torry, and I'm ready to be petty. See you soon. Bye.